Kia ora unicorns, welcome back to another video. What a dumpster fire of a year. Terrible, absolutely terrible. I think we are all well and truly ready for Christmas. I certainly am. Got me hat on even though it is warm today in New Zealand because we obviously are in the southern hemisphere where we have the gorgeous summer Christmas. But anyway, let's make ourselves a gorgeous mushroom, walnut and cranberry loaf, perfect for Christmas. So, of course, star of the show, we've got 350 grams of chopped up mushrooms. We've then got one whole brown onion diced, 2.5 stalks of celery diced. We've got some balsamic vinegar, we're going to have a tablespoon of that. We've got some soy sauce, a tablespoon of that, 2 cups of cooked brown rice. Any grain will do. You could use quinoa, you can use white rice. I don't know, you guys are creative. I'm sure you've got other grains that you'd like to use as well. Just being a bit lazy and using some crushed garlic, I'm going to use 3 to 4 tablespoons, just the equivalent of 3 to 4 cloves. Spices, well, actually herbs. Looks a bit dodgy there, doesn't it? Promise it is herbs, okay? So I've got some thyme, a teaspoon of that, a teaspoon of sage, a teaspoon and a half of rosemary and a teaspoon and a half of parsley. And then at this stage ran out of cute aesthetic little, what do you call them, bowls to show you the ingredients in, so now we're in the boring ones. So we have got a cup of mashed sweet potato. Oh, don't drop it though. And you can totally use normal potato, but I just had that on hand, so that's what we're using. And we've got a very generous half cup of dried cranberries. This here is a flaxseed, ground flaxseed. We're actually going to add some water to it shortly to make it into a flax egg, but there are 3 tablespoons of ground flaxseed, and of course flaxseed is also known as linseed, so that's what might it be labelled as. That's not English. Let's move on. We have 3/4 of a cup of, what are these called? Walnuts, it's in the title. And then we've got 1/3 of a cup of panko breadcrumbs. You don't have to use panko, any breadcrumbs is fine, just make sure they're vegan, and that's just what I have in my cupboard. So again, we're using what we have on hand, not rushing out to the supermarket to get special ingredients. We've got 3/4 of a cup of rolled oats, and last but certainly not least, we have some tomato paste, 3 tablespoons. So that is it for the loaf. Now, on top we're going to have a cranberry sauce. Totally optional, you don't have to, but I have got 2 cups of cranberries. These are just frozen cranberries, and then I have got half a cup of sugar, and then we're also going to add a cup of water when we make that. No, sorry, half a cup, just lying. Half a cup of water when we make that. I'm well aware that a lot of my followers are more into the whole foods lifestyle. That's totally cool, absolutely respect it. The only reason I am using white sugar is actually just aesthetic. When I use like the likes of date syrup, which is my favourite like whole food sweetener, it just changes the colour, and I really love that beautiful cranberry colour, so I use white sugar. But of course, if you're making it at home and you're more comfortable with something like dates in it, or date syrup, or another more natural sweetener, then absolutely go for it, or just don't use cranberry at all if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. I'm sure you're very creative in your own home cooking and will have plenty of amazing ideas, and feel free to tell us about them in the comments if you wish. Anyway, let's get on with the actual cooking, because I could ramble at you for a long time, and I don't think that's what you're here for. So let's cook. Now the absolute first thing we need to do is turn on our oven to 200 degrees. I have just got that on fan bake. Just putting a couple of tablespoons of water, and we're going to start by sauteing our celery and our onion. While the celery and the onions are cooking, I'm just going to add in my walnuts into my blender along with my rolled oats. add the sugar into a saucepan along with half a cup of hot water. Turn that on to a low heat. Don't forget to stir around your celery and onions and add in a little extra water. The sugar is now dissolved, so I'm going to put in the cranberries. And I'm just going to watch that and stir it every so often to make sure it's not boiling over. But basically what we're waiting for is the cranberries to start bursting from being cooked. The onions and celery have been going for about 5 minutes now, so I'm going to add in the spices, or herbs I should say, followed by the mushrooms. At this point I'm also going to add in our garlic. Okay, at this point we are going to add in 6 tablespoons of water to make our flax egg. We stir. We're just going to leave that to sit, and the flaxseed will absorb a lot of that water. When you get to the point that your mushrooms are letting out a lot of their moisture, that's when you know that you are ready to turn the heat off. And we're going to leave the cranberries still simmering away, but we do need to watch them. Now popping in my tablespoon of soy sauce, followed by my tablespoon of balsamic. You're getting some popping happening, so they're not too far away. So the cranberries are now simmering, and as you can see, they've started to pop. So I'm just kind of pressing some of them against the side to get them even more smooth. And at this point I'm just going to turn the heat completely down and just let it keep simmering ever so slightly while I do everything else. Okie dokie, I'm still within earshot of my cranberries, and I'm making sure to check them quite often because we do not want them burning. And let's put together the rest of the loaf. So we have our walnut oat kind of mixture in here. It's all crumbly and gorgeous. So we're just going to basically just add the rest of the ingredients in. So here's our mushroom, onion, celery, herb mixture. Smells amazing. I'm then going to go in with the tomato paste. A real good stir. So I just want to make sure the tomato paste gets well mixed in. Nobody wants a chunk of tomato paste as they're eating. Alright, next I'm going to go in with the flaxseed. As you can see now, it has thickened quite a lot. Right, now our potato. Sweet potato, or as we say in New Zealand, kumara. Cranberries. Christmas to me is just an excuse to put cranberries in everything because I love cranberries. How good are cranberries? And of course our rice, followed by our breadcrumbs. Are you whining at me, Luna? We've got a very hungry dog over there, hoping that what I'm cooking is for her, but it is not, because dogs can't have onions. But I have cooked her some rice, so she'll be happy to have that with her for dinner tonight. Right, I'm just going to check on my cranberry. Right, my cranberry sauce is at the consistency that I want, so I'm turning it off now. Here is my sous chef, bit of a lazy sous chef I must say, and so this is just the consistency we are looking for. So the heat is turned off and we're just going to let that sit while we put together the rest of our loaf. Alright, that is well mixed. We've got our little loaf pan, we have got some baking paper in there to prevent it from sticking, and we are going to put this mixture in and just pack it down. And now for the most glorious part, adding the cranberry sauce to the top. You could of course save some of the cranberry sauce for serving if you wish, up to you completely. I will probably save a tinsy tiny bit, but this is glorious and I like it on top. So. But of course you have to be very mindful of the size of your pan. You don't want it leaking off the side while it bakes. There we go. So I have, I don't know, I'm going to say a good tablespoon left in there. It's really up to you how much of it you use. You can have a nice thin coat of it. I like a nice thick coat because it tastes good. So that's what we're going to do. I'm now going to stick it in my oven. I do have my oven tray sitting in here. You probably can't see, but I have an oven tray sitting in there just to catch anything that might go over. I don't normally find that it leaks over the side, but you never know. So now that's going to take 30 to 40 minutes. You just want to check it at about 30 minutes. You might need more. Depends on the heat of your oven. My oven, I find about 35 minutes is probably the sweet spot, but yeah, just watch it. And yeah, we'll be back soon to eat that. I'm very excited about that. Okay, I have just taken her out. Luna, I'm filming. Do you have to shake right now? Oh, okay. Anyway, just taken her out. She needs to rest now. Beauty sleep, if you will. 10 to 15 minutes at least. You need to leave it, because otherwise when you take it out of the pan, you're just going to have a nightmare of a time cutting it up. So you really do need to leave it just for a little bit. Plus it's just going to be too hot to handle at the moment anyway. So we are going to come back in 10 to 15 minutes and then we're going to dig in. Okie dokie, time has passed, and don't mind the buckets in the background. I just spent the time I was waiting filling up the dog's paddling pool because they want to have some fun in the sun. That's what I'm trying to say. Right, it's still very hot, but we should be able to get it out now. Woohoo! Kind of take the baking paper out from underneath. Here we go. How good does that look? And then you've got some rosemary to stick on the side to make it real Christmassy. You can even put a little bit more of this, spread it on top just to make it look real good. Oh yes, that is gorgeous. Right, I better take some cute pictures of it before I cut into it, so that just in case it still falls apart, we have some aesthetically pleasing photos. Lord knows if I got any good footage, but I'm hungry, so we are going to dig in regardless. Oh, it smells glorious. I cannot wait to have this on Christmas Day. Some mashed potato, some peas, maybe some roast veggies. So good. Wow. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more Christmas recipes, I will link some of my previous years down below. I'll also probably put out something sweet before Christmas, so I will put that in the comments, I guess, so keep an eye out for that. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Ka kite.